You're listening to Co-operative Multiplayer. The official podcast of the 4-in-1 Game Zone.
Hello and welcome to another Co-operative Multiplayer Live, the official 4-in-1 Game Zone podcast. And I am your host, Sean Garmer, and with me today is Mr. Mark Morrison.
Howdy.
Well, it's been a little while. Thank you to everybody who listened to the previous show. Y'all helped us out a ton in making it the most listened to show that we've ever had. So, thank you for that. Probably had something to do with Star Wars being in the name there somewhere on YouTube, but hey, at least we had a good conversation about it. And we'll get into a little bit about Star Wars stuff since there was things to show off and also a lot of records that Star Wars has broken since the last time that we've been on here. There's also gaming stuff to talk about since, there's been big rumors flying around about, once again, Nintendo NX, about Assassin's Creed, about other things that are going on. Release games getting delayed. Of course, that always seems like we can't even get into 2016, and we're already hearing about games going to 2017. This is crazy. But all right, so I mean, where do you want to start here? You want to start with your beloved Assassin's Creed and go from there, or?
Sure. I just got my computer back though, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, so, now you can play your Steam stuff again, and
I will. I've been playing a lot of Action Hank. It's like this endless runner type of game, but it's set in a kid's bedroom. So it's kind of like Toy Story-esque almost. But the whole character, it's funny because they show a commercial for him in the beginning. He's like this, buff action hero looking dude, and then the figure is fat and overweight and just all I used to be good. What happened to me?
Nice.
But his only moves are some levels have a hook shot, which is pretty useful. But his big move is he can butt slide down the little tracks, which makes you get a lot more speed than just running by itself.
Nice.
Aside from that, I've been playing Destiny, Rebel Galaxy, and that's about it, really.
So how do you like Destiny?
I kind of don't. It's fine. As a shooter, it's okay, but there's just not that much shooting in it, and it keeps I got the Legendary King or Taken King Legendary Edition, and
right.
That's my first time playing it, and they just dump you into it. So it's
there is no context to what you are doing at all.
So it's here are 13 currencies. I got 200 silver, and I was like, what is this? It's fine as a shooter. I think I'm playing a Warlock. I'm level 14, I want to say.
That's what I was. That's the one that lets you use magic and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still got that stupid cube of light or whatever they call it to get that's their level boost item to get you to 25. So once I get this guy up to level 40, I'll probably use that on a different class just to mess around with it. I mean, it's fine as a shooter, but there's just not that much shooting in it. It seems like, and yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, that's what's weird. What I didn't like about it is that it's a lot of the same thing over.
Yeah,
at least with the first one. I never played Taken King, so I don't know. But it's a lot of the same.
Well, Taken King is all just end game content. So it's I think they intersperse some small elements. I'm fighting occasional dark forces or Taken forces, and they're harder. But it's most of the same stuff, and combat is just kind of dead simple. Zoom in on the head and shoot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know
And
what difficulty are you playing it at?
just normal.
Okay.
I did do a like dungeon, and that was kind of challenging, but that was about it.
I do remember parts where I die because I'd get into a certain section where you'd have to run up and try to get into this little like enclosed area, and then you had to fight off a bunch of these waves of guys, and you'd run.
Yeah,
I would run out of ammo, and that's what would happen.
Yeah, ammo is kind of weird because you can't. I don't think you can buy it. It's just coming out of drops. So
Yeah.
it's like, well, if you're out of ammo and you killed everyone, but they don't drop ammo, you're kind of screwed. You just gotta hit them, and you gotta hit them with your melee attack and hope they drop something.
That's exactly what would happen to me. I'm like, oh, what the hell? Like, I feel like I've been playing this game for like 20 minutes and no ammo. Like, what the hell?
The big one is like heavy ammo for like the rocket launcher. It's like it barely drops. And I would buy it if I could, but I guess I can't.
Yeah, have to. That doesn't make sense. I mean, I get that I guess they want to give you this feeling of, oh, whoops, you might have some difficulty because, the ammo's not dropping, but I don't know. I guess there could be another way where you could have difficulty in the game and not make it be where it's a problem for you to kill things.
Nolan North does an okay job, though.
Yeah, I remember freaking why can't I remember his name right now?
Little dude.
Yes, the one from Game of Thrones. People are gonna kill me later. Like, how the hell do you not know this guy's name?
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage. Yeah. Yeah, he sounded like he was so bored doing it.
Yeah, like that's a bad idea trying to cast him. Like he has a good voice. But if they're trying to make like more content, like get a voice actor to do it because they're going to be a lot cheaper and more available. Like you're not going to have don't they film Game of Thrones in like the Czech Republic or somewhere out in Europe?
Yeah, like Ireland sometimes. Yeah, Czech Republic.
It's
whatever.
Like, hey, we need you to do the voice, the ghost to the voice of the ghost to do a raid real quick. It's like, no,
no.
Leave me alone.
I'm getting paid way more from this over here than
Yeah, it's like, pay me another $100,000 and I'll maybe show up on a Skype line. That's all. That's my problem with like all the most of the Lego movie or Lego games now is like they're pretty voice acting.
Oh really? Just they have. I mean, I haven't played one for a while, so they have bad voice acting now.
Well, like Lego, the big ones I notice are like Lego, Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, and like the Lego Movie. Like for cinematics, they use like the actual in-movie footage or like the dialogue from it. But when it's in the game, it's just kind of like that sounds bad.
Jeez, bad decision.
And it's like most of these people, most of the actors aren't dead and aren't doing a ton. So it wouldn't be that much. I don't think it would be that much to get them back.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
like the Lego Movie, like Chris Evans or what is his name? Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, Chris Pratt. Yeah.
Like, I don't think he seems like an okay guy. Like, just pay him $20,000 or $30,000. I mean, it's like a day of work for him. Maybe 2. It's like, who cares?
Right. I mean,
and he can show up wearing like flip flops, boxers, and that's it. Like he doesn't have to like dress up or be in a makeup chair for 3 hours or anything. It's just doing voice work for 8 hours. Like I think that's better.
And he seems like a guy that would be pretty into it, or
yeah.
whatever,
I've also been playing Amplitude.
How is that? I know you didn't have. You said that the reviews weren't kind to it last time, but
they're still pretty average. So I was actually joking with Adam about it because, like, Amplitude. This game has a story.
Oh wow.
Does not need one.
I mean, is it interesting story?
No, because the basically like, I think her name is Beth. This woman Beth is in a coma, and they're using like this amplitude machine to like, if you make the music good, it'll bring her out of the coma.
Oh,
and it's like,
okay.
All right.
I guess they're giving you a goal there.
And it's just done it's just all told like during voiceovers, like, so it's really badly explained. And I was joking with him. I'm like, so is the end goal or is the end movie going to be like you healed Beth and then like Abstergo put her back in the Animus to do more Assassin's Creed hunting? I think that's how she got brain damage in the first place.
Oh man, Harmonix sometimes don't know what you guys are thinking.
I still don't like the soundtrack. Like, some songs are okay, but it's just too much techno.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of makes sense with that kind of game.
Well, the old one didn't have that much techno in it. That's the thing.
Well, probably because they want to differentiate Rock Band and Amplitude or whatever, and I don't know. They might have gone back and seen what got played and what didn't, and
I can tell you Blink-182 got played a lot in that old Amplitude game.
I just have a feeling it has to do with that. Like, they didn't want people complaining.
I have a feeling I have a feeling it has to do with it. They didn't want to pay for music.
Well, yeah, that too. Especially when you're paying like U2 and Aerosmith and Van Halen money for Rock Band, you don't want to have to pay people for others. You're this other game that may or may not play well with other music. I don't know. It might be the way they made the game too. They didn't want to have to change what they did for other content. I mean, I don't know. I can kind of understand both sides of it.
I doubt DLC is coming to this game. Like, there's no option for it, or no store or anything.
No, it's not, because
it's just gonna be like these 30 songs and that's it, and that's kind of depressing in a way.
I think the only way is that for some reason it blows up, because they did the same thing. That's why I was gonna buy. I thought about maybe buying the Kinect for the Fantasia game, because I heard that for kids it's great, but like the DLC just all of a sudden stopped, and they didn't even say why or anything. Same thing with Dance Central, it just died.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's like, well, the Kinect is a failure in every level, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, they were pretty much the only ones supporting the Kinect for like ever, and so I mean, that when you're the only one doing that,
and then even Microsoft doesn't do it anymore, so it's like, well, that's all we got. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like all we got, and then even then for Rock Band, apparently the PS4 got more crap this time than the Xbox did, and they're the ones that've been one of the champions of Xbox for like a long time, so it is what it is. But anything else that you wanted to talk about?
Let's see. I downloaded Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate, the 2D one.
Yeah.
It's bad. Don't play it.
Okay.
Is
there anything different in it besides Origins? Like, is it something that people that are big Batman Arkham fans need to play? Or?
They got a really bad feature for Batman, and it's 2D. Like, that's kind of interesting in a sense, but it's just not fun. Like, combat does not work in the 2D way, or 2D, world. And, let's see. Rebel Galaxy's cool. That's about it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, I still kind of didn't get the gist of what that was when I was listening to, like, Giant Bombcast or whatever. So, people who have no idea what Rebel Galaxy is, what is
that? A science fiction game, like you're in space. It is basically Firefly. It is Firefly the game. Like, you can go to different planets and trade, like, cargo. You can do bounty hunts in space, or you can just do missions and stuff like that. But combat is all like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, like the ship combat. So it's all like broadsides, for like big ships, and then like the little ships you can get in like a little turret and like shoot on like fighters.
Okay.
It has a good soundtrack to it.
Yeah, that's what I heard. The soundtrack is apparently like freaking awesome or something.
Yeah. I downloaded Contradiction also, but I haven't played that yet.
Ah, that game. That's the FMV game, right?
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Like, I saw them play it, and I know the interface is super janky, and that's all I kind of know about it.
I just saw some of that game like, really? We went back to this? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
people do like FMV games, so
okay. Yeah, that's true. Somehow, I mean, that's, the Guitar Hero thing seemed to work, so.
worked a little better than Rock Band.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't see that, like, the sales are doing much better than the other, but
Yeah,
it is what it
critically,
is,
yeah,
Uh, I mean, Rock Band decided to do its thing, and then the problem I heard Rock Band is a lot of the stuff that comes in with the new, if you, like me, like, if you have the legacy stuff, it's great. If you're having to be brand new, a lot of the stuff came broken, or they didn't allow enough time to get talking to Microsoft and Sony about doing firmware updates through Xbox and Sony, and they decided to do it through Mad Catz, which makes it really freaking annoying for you to update your instruments to make them work if you don't have Bluetooth, or you don't have your computer near your Xbox where you can stick a micro SD cable in it.
yeah.
And
It's like
yeah.
if the controller doesn't work, it's like, well, Bluetooth it up and update it, and it's like, what if you don't have Bluetooth? Oh well.
Yeah. It's like some people don't have computer. If I had the old ass XP computer that I was using and not this new one that didn't have Bluetooth, I'd be screwed, So it's like that doesn't really work for everybody, uh but yeah, I mean, for me, I've been having to do. I'm still working on getting that Game Awards column together and all this stuff with this New Japan and WWE and all this crap that's been going on. Wrestle Kingdom happened, so I was doing reviews for that, and so I've really got to these. I wish these people would stop deciding to use Facebook when I'm doing something. I keep forgetting to X out of the stuff, but either way, yeah. So I've only been able to play like a couple of games here and there, and
Yeah.
I've been playing mainly Final Fantasy VII for the PS4, just getting through that, and
The most new and exciting game there is.
yeah, it's so. I mean, I have games I could play that are sort of new, but it's in my room, and I've sort of like got into it for some reason. So I never ever actually like finished. I think if I beat the game, it happened a long time ago, and I don't remember a lot of what happened. So even though I could watch a bunch of videos and stuff, just especially since the remake's probably not going to be much like it. So
I think that, like, story wise, it'll kind of probably follow the same general beats, but that's about it.
yeah, and it'll have plus it'll be in sections. So it's going to be there's probably going to be stuff that they. I mean, it'll be cool because there'll be stuff they add to it that wasn't in the original, and then there'll be stuff they probably take out because it, who knows if we're even going to have a world map. So, are you going to have little things like having the buggy to go around, or are you even going to need it because you're not going to be going around a world that's that big because it's going to be sectioned off, So we'll have to see how that goes. But let's get into this news here. I guess I said we're going to start with Assassin's Creed, but so Kotaku came out with this thing that said, basically saying, and they obviously have no problem reporting on early Assassin's Creed stuff since they were the ones that had the report that Ubisoft didn't want to give them games because of the last one about Unity. So they
No,
it wasn't it was for Syndicate. Sorry.
Yeah, that was called. It's called Victory.
So this one's called Empire, and it is supposed to be set in Egypt. But the big thing is that it's not going to be annual, even though yes, they do have that those little 2D
those don't
China
count.
and India or whatever that haven't come out yet. I don't know which one it is. I think it's China and India, the ones that are left. And
No, it's India and Russia.
Okay, India.
The China one already
that's
did
right.
come out.
So India and Russia. I kept going around in my head. It's like which of those three freaking countries is the one that has a. So India and Russia, and they're supposed to come out I think next month. So.
I think it is February.
So and people are I know. Our buddy Jeff Harris, he was saying that this is not even a delay because they still have well, those games aren't the same game. Like they are in the same vein, but they're not.
Yeah, it's like those are.
Go ahead, sorry. Oops.
From what Batman did. I mean, it's nothing.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, to me.
Yeah.
Oh no, they come out. India comes out tomorrow.
Plus, they're supposed to be out last year. So
right, yeah, they were supposed to come out like 2 or 3 months apart.
Yeah, because they were supposed to be a part of the. I want to say Unity Season Pass.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was that one.
And then they had to do away with that entire season pass. Ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, what do you think of the Egypt location?
It might be interesting. I think there's a few problems with it, though. One is compared to other locations or other histories they've done, there's not a ton of public knowledge about famous figures in Egypt.
Right, a lot of it's like gods and
are you gonna hang out with King Tut or something?
Yeah, or is the sun god Ra gonna be the main villain? I mean.
Also, what era, what history, what time day? Because that was kind of the nice thing about the recent Assassin's Creed games that they've been getting closer to the present day.
Right.
It would have been interesting, if they did Depression era U.S. or World War I or something, but they didn't. Yeah, it might be an interesting setting, but is this going to be climb the pyramid to get the synchronization point?
Maybe. I mean, go climb the Sphinx. I mean,
that doesn't.
I guess the headset had issues again. I don't know.
It's a desert. It's how big is it going to be?
Yeah, right.
How interesting is it going to be? It's going to be like Mad Max or something.
Yeah, I'd imagine that they'll have to put things inside pyramids, or they'll have to create towns in those settings so that you can have ways to interact with people, because
But aside from that, I am actually kind of hopeful because that series did need a break.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt the series needs a break. I mean, look, Syndicate was good. I mean, not a lot of people apparently played it, but
Well, the problem with the series is it's almost like Call of Duty now, where it's one game is good and the next one is bad. So it's so hit or miss.
Or it's just kind of okay, and
Yeah. Revelations is not technically a bad game, but it's the most average, middle-of-the-road game there is.
Right. And I mean, you can only...
Yeah, I mean, it could do for a break, and unless you have the movie this year.
Yeah. Oh, the movie.
And that
Is
should
it
be
scheduled for this
interesting.
year? That movie?
Especially because Omar's in it. He's always fun.
I
I
mean,
don't know how well, like Michael Fassbender looks kind of dorky in that outfit though. Like, looks a little cheesy. Have you? I don't know if you've seen it or not, but
I've
all
seen
right.
some of the initial
Yes.
pictures.
He kind of looks like an Assassin's Creed cosplayer, not like an actual character.
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't. Are you like not hearing me?
Hello?
Hello? See, this is a problem. I think I'm hearing you and you're not hearing me. So, hold on. Let me redo the Skype call really quick. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with the technology here, but it seems like, yeah, because it's started feeling can only receive IMs. Uh-oh. What? Okay. Um, yeah, so while we get this figured out, I mean, yeah, the other thing that was big about this is that there are rumors going around that there could be a trilogy for Assassin's Creed. Let me see if I can get a hold of Mark again. I don't know why it's telling me. There we go.
Sorry about that.
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what happened. Apparently, it got to a point where, like, I was hearing you, you weren't hearing me, and vice versa.
Yeah, that headset does not work well with this computer for some reason. That's why I don't typically use it.
Okay, hold on. Let me see what I can do here about the...
Fragment.
Yeah. I'll just have to... Hopefully that airy sound is not too bad for you guys.
What?
Because you're using the onboard mic.
Yeah.
Hearing the ambient sound behind you.
Do you hear any?
Yeah, I do, but I mean, I can't. If you can't use that other headset, I can't do anything about it. It is what it is.
Do something real quick.
But either way, I mean, do you like the idea of there possibly being a trilogy with the series now? They were talking about maybe being in Rome and.
No. Well, I guess it depends if people like the character or not, because that's why people liked, like when Assassin's Creed 2 came out, they were kind of unsure whether or not, like, people would like Ezio, and people really did. But if they announced a character, like if they announced like a trilogy on Connor from Assassin's Creed 3, it would have been a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that it could be a total disaster as far as Connor and like what happened with that. But if they're really trying to go back and give it time and make sure it's good, I mean, I think you can make one character, and you're also going into a weird time in history where, I mean, they were playing around with the idea of. I've heard people say that if you go to Rome, do they do the story of Jesus or whatever? Which
press X to hammer in the nail. It's like,
oh God, that's terrible.
That may annoy some people.
Talk about Passion of the Christ issues. That might be the new one. I mean, yeah, just I like the idea of what they're doing here. I think the best thing is to give it time off so they can refocus on what makes the game great and bring that out in 2017, hopefully. And now they're saying the replacement might be Watch Dogs 2, which, we know how the first game went, but it could be an Assassin's Creed situation. Like, the first one was not that well received, and people didn't know what to expect from the second one, and then the second one's one of the best games in that series. Do you think Watch Dogs has the potential to do that?
Maybe. The thing with Watch Dogs is I want them to have a better story in it. Like, that would help quite a bit. I didn't mind the gameplay in Watch Dogs too much, actually, compared to most people. But it was just a terrible story. It's what bugged me about it.
Why was it I never played the game, so I have no idea why it was bad. But
like, the main character is just kind of a piece of shit. He was like his I think niece got killed. I want to say niece. One of his it was his niece who got killed, and he's like, "There's not going to be any more death in my town," or whatever. Meanwhile, he kills thousands of people as he plays the game, or as you go through it. It's like, wait a second here. This is kind of weird. And it's also pretty, like, they introduce characters in that game. I think one of them's called Lucky Quinn. He's like a gangster, like an old time gangster, and like they just do nothing with him.
Yeah, I mean,
so
that's one thing
like,
I heard.
bother?
They introduce characters that people actually like, but they don't do anything with them.
There's a character named Jordy they introduce. His name's Jordy. He's like your little henchman, I guess. And at the end, he makes like an abrupt character change where he becomes a villain, and it happens like in the last 5 minutes of the game, and it's like, what?
Why even at that point?
Yeah.
You waited so long. Are people really gonna want that the last 5 minutes of the game?
Yeah, it just felt like really abrupt, and like they had no way of kind of writing that character out.
Weird. But yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be set in San Francisco. We'll have to see if they do anything different with it. Hopefully,
Yeah.
Is there something they can change outside of the story that? Obviously, they need to make it easier to drive. But
they can give you a hidden blade. No, I mean, like, I do want more parkour in that series, actually. Like, because in the old one you couldn't even, like, in Watch Dogs 1 you couldn't even jump, and it felt like really weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah, better characters, maybe a better reason to like actually hack people. Don't have any stupid like multiplayer crap that they had in the first one. That was terrible. Yeah, stuff like that would be nice.
Yeah, so we move on from the potential of Watch Dogs to
Well,
the.
I want Watch Dogs 2 subtitled to be Hack the Planet. That'd be good.
I mean, and don't they also need to deliver on some of the hacking? Since they said a lot, and a lot of it wasn't in the game the way they made it seem like.
Yeah, but a lot of Watch Dogs 1 wasn't in the game how they made it seem like.
Especially the graphics as well.
Yeah.
Which that's one of the games that really made you think, oh my god, they're really doing a step up with the PS4. And then all of a sudden the game came out and it's like, oh my god, this is ugly.
Yeah.
Alright. So, another potential thing, again, I mean, it feels like we've talked about this, I don't know how many times, but they keep coming out with reports. So at some point, it might just behoove Nintendo just to maybe say something that doesn't say we're denying allegations here. Now we have another report from another company stating that the Nintendo NX is going to come out this year. It's from Nomura Securities, an analyst. His name is Junko Yamamura, who says that they're going to unveil the concept of whatever the NX is between March and May. Then they're going to do the whole console reveal with probably some of the games in June, and then it's going to launch in October or November, which is sort of a timeline that I kind of gave when I was going through this, and I did it on Fact or Fiction. And I mean, I don't know. It just, jeez.
I just think that timeline is too quick, honestly. Like, it may come out, like, let's say it does come out that time. What games are going to be for it?
I'm telling you right now, Legend of Zelda is going to have the Twilight Princess thing, and it's going to be on both. It seems like this is one of those the time when the GameCube was out, the internet wasn't the way it is right now. What the hell?
That's on your end, not mine.
Yeah, I know. That's my kid decided she wanted to just dump water all over the floor here. Why?
Because I like water.
You can tell me you like water all you want, but you don't dump water on the floor. What is wrong with you? Anyway. Hey. Sorry, my kid is being loud right now. Here you go. Anyway, I've got to go try to clean up this water for some reason. Yeah, so, I have a feeling we're definitely getting Zelda. I remember Miyamoto saying for a long time that he wanted Mario to be a launch game again. So perhaps a reason why we got a Mario Maker instead of like another Mario.
That would certainly help matters, but you think they would have shown at least something from it. And I don't think it's enough time to like kind of build up hype.
I mean, but that's what we got with the PS4 and Xbox, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the launches for those things weren't great.
Well, the PS4 was fine. It didn't have great, awesome games at launch or anything.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, Nintendo generally does have good launch titles. And, you hope anyway. And this one, it might, but I just don't want it to be a rehash of we ported Mario Galaxy over to this thing now also. Go play it. Like, no?
I mean,
here's Twilight Princess again. Like, I got a middle finger for you again. Like, I don't want to play that. I don't want to play it in the first place. Not in the third.
Yeah, that doesn't make any. I don't think they're doing all that stuff with Twilight Princess to have. That would make no sense to have two Zelda games at launch. So, I have a feeling Zelda NX is going to be a thing. And then, you'll get, maybe the Mario, and then, Metroid's, they have that Federation Force order, but they've been quiet on anything Metroid as far as an actual return to that series.
Well, except for Mario, they don't really have plans to, exploit their series. When was the last, when it's Metroid Prime 3 was okay. Metroid Other M, it had some fans, not tons, but that's about it. Star Fox is kind of a quiet disaster now.
You think it's going to be a disaster?
I mean, you can hope it won't be, but, the early buzz out of E3 last year was not great. And considering how much they've delayed the game so far, it's I think they're trying to fix it as much as they can, but it's they're just hoping that it's going to fool some people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not too sold on the whole having to, because with the Wii U, I either look at the screen, I look at the gamepad. I mean, it's just, a lot of times I play the thing on the gamepad in my room. I don't even play the thing on the TV.
Yeah.
The only thing I use the TV for is, like, for some reason, Hulu is the only app that they did not configure correctly for that. You have to use the TV to select what you're going to watch, and then you can use the gamepad for other stuff. But it's like, okay, that's really dumb, but, like, Netflix works fine on it and all the other stuff. But, I mean, if you're going to sit there and have somebody have to look at the screen, and then you have to look at the TV and look at the screen again with the stylus and all that, I mean, that seems like a lot of work to try to move a freaking plane when it really shouldn't be that, much of an issue. But
Yeah, like, I think Mario is the only game to kind of know what to do with, or, like, only the franchise.
well, I just I really hope that they have their. I mean, they have to have things in a row. They have to have things that they're already planning that they just, supposedly people have dev kits and whatever they're going to, or
It'll be another Kid Icarus game.
I wouldn't mind that. I mean, they have some franchises that are kind of lower tier that if you bring Mario, you don't have to and you have Zelda at launch, you don't have to have, like, all your other heavy hitters there at launch. You can have some, B tier or C tier franchises that you can kind of come on. We have no idea if there are third parties working with that thing. I mean, if that last report was supposed to be believed, that the controller was supposed to be a screen, I mean, it's not much different than what the Wii U was then, because if your controller is basically a screen, what's the difference between that and the gamepad? I mean, so
They're finally gonna make a sequel to Pro Wrestling.
Oh, that would be awesome. I'd totally go for that.
Couldn't be any worse than WWE games.
Hey, 2K16 is actually pretty good. So,
I mean, compared to what, though? I mean, there's no other competition.
I mean, compared to...
Except for the previous sucky one.
I guess you have to go back to compare it to the 64 games and all that stuff, and some of the SmackDown vs. Raws were good, like Here Comes the Pain, but, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, look, honestly, there really isn't a whole lot to say on this until somebody from Nintendo comes out and says, okay, we're really doing it, or we get the surprise in 3 or 4 months.
Reggie pulls it out of his coat.
Yeah, where it's like, hey, here's the whatever the NX is. And I'm still going to go with that theory that it is a double console. Because I just cannot think that you go full bore into mobile and you're going to still think that you're going to be able to support the 3DS or whatever the next 3DS would have been. It has to be tied to your main console.
I guess I would agree with that, kind of, but the other side, though, is, like, if that thing is supposed to, like, be on par with a PS4 or a Xbox One, like they've talked about, like, oh, it's going to have, like, high-grade chips in it or whatever the hell they said. Like, A, imagine how much that's going to be, and then B, imagine how fragile it's going to be.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, they're either going to have to take a huge loss, which we've never seen Nintendo price something at like $400, which $400 wouldn't be bad because it's the same as the other ones, but if you price it any more than that, you're asking for people to just be like, nope. I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, obviously the Oculus Rift, which, we're going to talk about here, they decided to come out with a $600 price tag, which is kind of high, but the pre-orders are already, sold out. So, obviously there's people that will be willing to pay whatever it is, and, Nintendo does have that big cachet, but, like, I can't imagine parents going, oh, I'm going to pay $600 for this console. It probably may not work with the games my kids already have, so Then I've got to buy them all these games. I got to buy an extra controller if you can even have an extra controller. You know, all this stuff. Exactly like what you said. How I just cannot imagine they're going to make something like that. That if it's going to be just the screen, you're going to have to make it plastic or have some kind of protective thing that you can put on it, because this is Nintendo. Their stuff is for kids. I mean, the kids are going to break that.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
So, I mean, look, I keep saying that Nintendo made this way too formatted. When Reggie went out on E3 and says, next year, we're going to have something for you, like, that never happens. When we find out about systems, they just happen. We don't get, like, a year in advance, we're told, you're going to find out the system. So, that's what makes me feel like they do know it's coming out this year, and they just didn't want to tell anybody because they didn't want all this negative stuff coming out about it before it even came out. So, we'll have to see, I guess, on that front. But like, the Oculus Rift, $600. There was a lot of CES was VR, which the HTC Vive already came out with their pre-order day, which is February. No price on that though. Which I honestly, other than the PlayStation VR, I cannot imagine any of these standalone things being under $600 now. Like, if they're just trying to play around and make it seem like they're going to be, they can do that, but I think Sony's the only one that could possibly afford to make it less because they can bundle it with a PS4.
Yeah, but imagine how much that bundle's going to be. That'll be like, that will be $600.
Yeah, and well, I mean, that's for the 500 gig. I still think the 1 terabyte's going to be 700 or 750, something like that. Yeah. So, I mean, and they're supposedly expecting VR to make like $5.1 billion this year and all this stuff. I mean, I guess if you count all just the hardware that's going to be sold with that thing, and it's so expensive, I'm sure you can count that money like that. But, you think it's really going to make that much money? And they think the base is going to be around 39 million people.
No, that's crazy. I mean, here's the thing that people are going to do. If they expect that, people are going to go out and buy Oculus Rift like day one, like when it's in stores actually, get home, plug it in, and their computer is going to say, the computer's not good enough to run this thing. I can guarantee you that's what's going to happen. It'll be hilarious.
Because people, in general, this is why I think the PlayStation VR is going to be the one that can sell the most, because technically, most people are already going to have that system. So you're going to buy that thing separately, and then I don't know how the games are going to be distributed. I guess it's going to be all digital through the PS4 or something.
I mean, they may have box games, but it'll probably come with something also. You'd hope.
Right, yeah, well, it'll come with, like, Eve Valkyrie, and if that's even... Is that only for the Rift, or...
I don't know. I have no idea what's coming out with that game, or, like, Elite Dangerous anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing that when I turn Steam on, it says, you have one Steam VR game, Elite Dangerous. Nope.
I think I have, like, 3 or 4. No, I just have the one Elite Dangerous, like you, yeah.
It's just...
Like, whatever.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying, like, people already have it, so... They're saying they can give you a bundle, which will include, it'll be $1,500, which will include a PC that will work with Oculus. But it's just like, really? Like, are people really going to do this? They're going to go buy PCs just for this? I mean, $1,500 is no joke.
I've said it before, but people stand in lines for days at a time when the new iPhone comes out, regardless of whatever incremental upgrade is actually in the thing.
I know, but like that's the same price as the Rift by itself. But we're talking about another
grand
$900 investment at least that you're making with this thing, and you may not even have space to put another computer. Like, so you're just gonna what? See, that's the thing too. Like, you have what if you have a computer that's like not totally up to scale to the VR, but it's like just a little bit under that, and then you're gonna just toss that computer to man.
Yeah, it's Oculus is kind of a mess right now, and they want technical perfection, which is fine. It's a lofty goal, but that comes at the cost of having a high price point.
Yeah, I mean, Palmer Luckey even had to come out and apologize for the. I mean, obviously it didn't affect people that sold out the thing, but he did apologize for misleading people on the price, saying that at some point it was supposed to be $350, and he kept contrasting that with the $1,500 that you're going to pay.
Well, like the Kickstarter was $350. I think that was like the original price point.
Yeah, and then when they started messing with it,
if you back that thing, congrats! You get a free Oculus Rift, but most people didn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. And then you still have to deal with the thing about your computer, if it's going to be able to run it or not. Which, I mean, the specs are out there. I don't have it on me as far as.
You need like a pretty decent CPU and at least anything an NVIDIA 970 or 980 to run it.
Jeez.
So, I think I saw a story that only 2% of computers right now have the specs.
Wow. Yeah. So basically. Any Joe Schmo that goes out there and buys this thing.
Put it this way: if you go out right now and buy like a computer from Best Buy, it will not have the specs to run this thing.
No, anybody that's trying to don't go buy a computer from anywhere other than like going online and just doing the stuff yourself, because no store is probably going to sell that. You know, they might now, if they sell the Oculus Rift, they might sell the computer that Oculus wants you to buy with it. But, man, because only a certain kind of person goes out there trying to find a computer like that.
I have a friend of mine who does an online business, and he was going to upgrade his computers for like the Oculus Rift stuff. And I said, first of all, like, why are you doing this? Because you don't play games anymore. And then, once the price point was announced, he didn't know it. Now it's $600 for a Rift, and he was like, "Fuck that! Like, I'm not gonna pay for that."
Yeah, it's $600 for the Rift. Then imagine what you got to do. Like, so do you know what these parts? Like, say you want to upgrade your computer, the parts by themselves, I'm sure, are in the hundreds themselves. So you may not even save yourself any money trying to just upgrade it.
Yeah, so you need a NVIDIA GTX 970, an Intel i5 450-990 CPU, 8 gigabytes of RAM, which most computers don't have right now, an HDMI output, and 3 USB ports, or 4 USB ports. 3 of them have to be 3.0, and one has to be 2.0.
Jeez. Yep. So the hubs aren't that expensive, but you have to buy a hub.
Yeah, most computers don't have that.
Yeah, I have 2 3.0s and 3 2.0s on mine, and I had to get the hub eventually for the 2.0s, but most of them. I have the 8 gigs of RAM because my computer's relatively new, but that's about it. Like the other stuff, I have an i7. I don't even know if that would work.
Probably not. I mean, your computer's at least 1 or 2 years old, though, right?
Yeah, it's from 2012, actually.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't care about running it, but it's just like, still, I think the ATI Radeon I have in there is not that great. So, but I can't mess with it. Like that's the one thing that sucked about. Like this is good because it's portable. I can take it if I want to, but that's the only thing that sucks. I can't upgrade it, so I'd have to buy a whole new computer now. Whenever it does get out of date for things, but which probably won't be too long from now anyway. But yeah, I mean this is what's. I'm glad that the Oculus did well as far as pre-orders, and I'm sure the Vive will do just fine. And they showed off some stuff for it, some games, and some of it looks interesting. I'm not gonna lie, but again, like the same thing with the Vive, with the thing in the room where you can play with different toys and basically like have your own like Minecraft thing going on with another person. That's all cool, but it's one of these things that like you have to know someone that has this, and you have to experience it yourself, and then you have to go do all this stuff to get it, and it's like it seems very, very. I mean, unless you just have a rich person buy you, I cannot imagine this is going to. I could see this going the way of 3D TVs. Like, it's cool now, but as soon as people figure out how inhibitive it is, it's going to go the way really fast. It's just, I don't know. Do you think it really has staying? I mean, do you think that it? I'd imagine like this year, it may get close to that figure that they want, but do you think it's really going to just keep climbing, or is it going to go the other way?
Oh, it has to go the other way because people have to like. I mean, like a big company like Facebook is backing like the Oculus Rift, so it's not going to run out of money anytime soon. But if they want to get it to be mainstream, it has to go the other way for sure.
Right. It just. I mean, they'll have to find a way to make the thing less expensive really fast, and I just don't know that that's gonna happen. I don't know. Hopefully it does, and hopefully it's an experience that people can have in their homes and whatever. But this is again something other than PlayStation VR. You're gonna have to have a room to dedicate to this thing, and most people don't have rooms that they can just dedicate to things. So, it is what it is. So, that price is pretty expensive, but obviously some people are willing to pay for it. So,
yeah.
Just want to give again. I like giving shout outs to these things because they don't get talked about a whole lot. But the Awesome Games Done Quick happened. They're going to do another one in July in Minneapolis. They raised $1.2 million to help the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Some people were playing Pokemon Blue, Half-Life 2, Bloodborne, Super Mario Maker, all that stuff. So
yeah, I watched some of it. It was pretty good.
I mean, apparently they wanted 1.5. It just didn't get there, but it's still 1.2 million is a pretty awesome number for the gamers to raise. So
yeah,
totally agree with that happening there.
They did some crazy Legend of Zelda for the Super Nintendo run.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Where they did it in reverse boss order.
Oh, wow.
And they did it in an hour and 20 minutes.
Jeez. Back when that stuff was, I would have never thought, this stuff amazes me, the people that can speedrun these things now, because, when you were playing them for the first time, you would have never imagined that you're getting through this game that quick. All the thought you have to put into where you're going and all that stuff,
Yeah.
But, I guess that's why they have pro gamers now. But so apparently, Kazurai says that they have 200 developers that are already signed up for PlayStation VR, and they're expecting over 100 games are in development now. So
I didn't even know there were 200 developers around.
yeah, I didn't know either, but I'm guessing they're including indie guys and whatever, and it just. I mean, that's why I keep saying the one that I think has the most promise is PlayStation VR, because it's going to have a low cost of entry. You're already going to have the system it's going to be on, and then you just wait for the games to come out, and then you decide which ones you like and don't like. I'd imagine it's also going to have some kind of preview where you can preview the games too. Either that or the games are. I wonder the price of the game is what's going to be interesting. What they're going to charge for those.
I guess it depends on I guess the quality or the length, stuff like that. I would be happy with $40 a game.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
If it was a game, as polished as an Uncharted or something, to be I wouldn't mind paying $60 for it, but that's probably not going to be how most of it's going to go.
Well, speaking of Uncharted, Neil Druckmann basically came out without saying it. Seems like Nathan Drake might die in this game. He says that it's going to be very hard to do a sequel with Nathan Drake when you're done with Uncharted 4. Does that give you that indication too?
I mean, maybe, but I think that he'll just have some happy ending at the end, and he'll just be I'm getting too old for this adventuring shit or something like that, and that'll be it. And it'll move on to his son.
Yeah, which I don't I get that everybody has this attachment to Nathan Drake and whatever. He's a great character, but at some point, wouldn't you want it to evolve and become this? He's living in a sort of real world, unlike Halo, where Master Chief can sort of continue to exist, even though they kind of lied to you, made you think that Halo 5 the whole point was that he was dead.
They'll get Troy Baker to start doing the motion capture work instead of Nolan North.
Yeah, I just at some point, everybody's gonna love him and want to see him come back and everything, but you move on. I mean, they moved on with Infamous, and people didn't seem to not buy that game because they moved on with that. So I think it's okay.
Well, I think if they do make an Uncharted 5, what would be kind of interesting if they did his son or daughter be the main character, and he'll be the Sully of the game.
Yeah.
He'll show up or something like that.
Right. That wouldn't. Yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's also they're making another God of War game, and Kratos is going to be in it. So I wouldn't put too much stock in people going, oh, this character this character is done for this series or whatever.
Yeah, but God of War again is a fictional, and they can just keep going backwards in time with him and all this other stuff if they want to with Kratos, which does he doesn't die, so that's I don't know. I don't have a problem at all if he doesn't come back. I mean, that shows that the series can have longevity if he is not always the main character, which is the same thing. I think that's also why they keep saying that whenever they do make Last of Us 2, it's not going to include the two main characters because they want it to be a different story. And I don't think that people are just not going to buy the game because Joel and Ellie are not the two people you play as. It'll sell because of the name. But PlayStation 4 apparently has now sold 36 million units worldwide as of last week. So,
how many has Xbox One sold?
Oh, we'll never know because they don't tell you that anymore. We gotta love Microsoft being very quiet about this stuff. But they did reveal this speaker that screws into your light bulb, which I thought was rather interesting. And they also showed this speaker that basically looks like a candle that you can just sit somewhere and it looks good, so you'll want to use it. But it's just wow. All right, I never thought about having a speaker as a light bulb, but I guess it doesn't take up any room in your house. So, I mean, I don't know how you would control that, but
yeah,
whatever works for you. So
Bluetooth, that's how everything works now.
Yeah, probably. So did you see this thing about Sony trying to trademark the word "Let's Play"?
Yeah, that's a bad... That would not have done well for them, I don't think.
But you know what? The courts came out, and the reason they denied it was not because it was a common word. It's because there's something else trademarked called the "Let's" with a Z play.
That's good.
Which they do have 6 months to fight it if they want, which makes me think Sony might, because they're not using the whole common word thing, which I would hope somebody would alert them to. Because, I mean, everybody uses the word "Let's Play." I think that's kind of screwy for Sony to try to trademark, but it is, I mean, I guess you can't blame them for wanting to make money off something.
But it's not something they made. That's the problem.
Yeah, they didn't introduce that to the vernacular. That was just kind of introduced through common things. I mean, so do you think this means we're going to start seeing, like, Sony official Let's Plays or whatever then? If they're...
I doubt it, and the reason is because Sony wants people to buy their games, not to just watch them being played.
Right. I mean, I could see the... You know... I could see the reason why a little bit, but you can always see people broadcast the game, so I don't see what the point would be of having them...
Yeah, but something like that official, that would probably be a little more sketchy to them. They'd be like, why are we doing this when we could just sell this game instead?
Yeah, who knows? They're the heads over there at Sony are obviously thinking about something since they wanted to trademark the term, but thankfully it's been denied for now. Arc the Lad Twilight of the Spirits is going to be the next PlayStation 2 game to come to the PlayStation 4. It's going to come, I think, in a couple days. So if you're a big Arc the Lad fan, you can probably buy that for, I'm sure $15 will be the price point for that. So
I'm still waiting for Shadow Hearts Covenant.
If one of the Shadow Hearts games shows up, I'm buying it.
They can't.
They could try to find a way to get the license from somebody.
Well, it's the publisher. It was Midway, so I don't know
but
where those...
did somebody take all that was all sold off, right? Too.
Yeah. Well, some of it was like Warner Brothers got like the Mortal Kombat team and like the name and everything, but a lot of Midway stuff just kind of went to the wind.
Yeah, and they could try to contact somebody if they really wanted to get it. If they had enough people that were saying, "Okay, we're gonna buy it." I mean, because Arc the Lad was not one of the first ones I would have thought of. You're bringing a PS2 game to the PS4.
Yeah, there are just some weird gaps, or it's one game. It's not like here's 100 new games. It's like here's one more game for you out of, say, now you got 17 to buy. It's like, all right, great, thanks.
Yeah, they are having to up-res them and do all that stuff, so it takes a little bit of time. It's not just straight porting. So, I don't mind it if they do like one a month, or if they start getting a bunch in, they do like 4 or 5 at once, and maybe you don't see any more for a couple months. I do appreciate that they're trying to get the ones people want, or at least making them think that it's the ones they want. So
the next one's going to be SmackDown vs. Raw 2008.
Yeah. WWE should just tell them, we're going to release them all in a collection or something.
No, you know the next one's going to be? Crush Hour.
Yeah, exactly. That game everybody wants. WWE Crush Hour. So, Microsoft had 2 big delays happen, too, while we're at it here. Platinum came out and announced that Scalebound has been delayed already to 2017.
Yeah, they came out like January 3rd and said that. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it's like people were already, we talked about it. There's people already talking about, like, oh man, I'm excited for Scalebound. Nope, no you're not. Because we're not seeing it till next year. already. Okay, well, yeah, I guess we'll get to just be more amped at E3 when they show off stuff, and no, you won't see it till next year. What?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then ReCore has been delayed until the latter half of 2016, which this was one of the new IPs that Microsoft showed off, and has like the robot that goes with the girl. It still seems rather interesting to see what they can really show what the game does, but one of the announcements was that it's also coming to PC, which might have been one of the reasons why it got delayed. Are you
cool.
interested in this now that it's coming to PC?
I would be, but I know it's going to be exclusive to Windows 10 because they're assholes.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So it won't be on Steam. Oh, well, yeah, it'll be made for Windows 10, so you have to update your computer, which I still don't know if I want to do that or not.
Like, even if I wouldn't even mind that if you need to have Windows 10 to run it because it runs on like DirectX 12 or whatever. That's one thing. But I know they're just going to sell it on that stupid Windows Game Store, and it's like I don't want to buy it on that. I want to buy it on the storefront that has everything else on it.
Right. You don't think that they would find a way to talk to each other at all?
No, because Microsoft wants. That's the whole reason they introduced the Microsoft Game Store in the first place, is they wanted to try to cut Steam out.
Right.
And Steam has said, or Gabe Newell has said some pretty incendiary things about that thing. So.
But can't you make it to where you can make it be in your Steam library even though it's not a Steam game and it runs through there?
Yeah, but that's not the same thing.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll be excited to hear more about ReCore. It looked like a pretty cool game at E3, so I'm sure they'll tell us more about it at some point. They also did announce new bundles for the Xbox One, which at this point they're just really throwing these things out there, aren't they?
That's all they have.
So for $400, you can get a 1 terabyte Xbox One with Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege and the 2 Rainbow Six Vegas games.
The 2 good ones.
Yeah, the 2 good ones, and the other one that not a lot of people cared for. And then you can get a Name Your Game bundle, which we saw the PS4 do this, I think, last year during the holidays, if I'm not mistaken. They did that last year. It was like Far Cry 4 and
Destiny, NBA 2K14, and Little Big Planet.
Yeah, a little bit. So this time you can get a $500 gig Xbox One with Forza, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Gears of War Ultimate Edition, or Rare Replay.
I'd probably have to pick Tomb Raider out of that list.
I would too. Forza's too smart for me, and I already have Gears of War on the original 360. I don't need that. And
I might be interested in Forza, but I'd probably want to play more Horizon 2 more.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Like, Forza applies to me a lot more on that front. So, Minecraft has now sold 22 million on the PC. So, everybody wondered why Microsoft wanted Minecraft, or Mojang, even though really it's just Minecraft. This is why. It just keeps selling. So it's like print money for Microsoft. You don't... no need to keep making anything. Just keep, having things come out for Minecraft, and you'll be fine.
I still never played Minecraft.
Yeah, I've only played the story mode thing.
I played it for like 10 minutes once, and it was like, all right, what do I do here? That was it.
Yeah, exactly. What do I do here? Hey, Quantum Break is close to completion. Do you believe it's coming out on the date that they say?
I think it has to, because they announced a firm date, and also they've been working on that game forever.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I agree. I think Quantum Break I'm excited for this game. I really want it to come out. It's one, we both talked about how we loved we love Remedy, we love Alan Wake, so this game is very close to that. It's interesting to see. I mean, they did have quite a few people leave Remedy during the development of this game, so it'll be interesting to see if what gets left in, what doesn't, how the TV stuff works, all that.
Yeah, that's going to be probably pretty half-baked because of what they did.
Yeah, especially because, they took away all that TV stuff, so Psychonauts 2 got fully funded now, so hey, at least they're going to be making the game. I'm waiting for them to come out with, we need more money.
But, I mean, they may do that, but I don't think so. I think, well, also, I mean, it just kind of barely made it over the hill so far, so I think people are getting a little burned out with crowdfunding.
Yeah, I think, well, it's also just, last time this happened with Broken Age, and then he kept saying that he had to put more money into it later.
Well, yeah, but the problem with that was he was like, we want to make a $400,000 game, and they got all this extra money. It's like, oh, now the game, the vision can expand. And it's like, no, people just wanted the cheap crap. So I want Psychonauts 2 to be basically like, Psychonauts 1. I don't want it to be some epic 100-hour game. I just want it to be kind of like a 20-hour, like, platforming, like, open world game, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like Psychonauts, there's a lot of expectations that are come with this, based on how people fondly remember the first one.
Like if it was the same scale as Psychonauts 1, I'd be perfectly happy, honestly.
I agree with you. That's all I need from it, is for it to be the same scale, just new story.
Maybe mess around with some of the mechanics a little. Like don't have that stupid. Not clairvoyant, but like the one power that like you can see through people's eyes. That was bad. That was really bad. But I'd just be happy with like another Psychonauts. Honestly, I don't like I said, it doesn't need to be some epic, $1,000 hour campaign. It's like no, keep your vision in check.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get way too big with it, and then
That's going to be Shenmue 3's problem.
Yeah, I can already see that happening. Keeps getting delayed. This happens, that happens with it.
Or Star Citizen at this point.
Boy, you don't want that problem.
It's a scam.
It's a problem already in itself. So something that could create a problem maybe for esports. As far as, you got some heavy hitters now getting into it with Activision acquiring Major League Gaming. They basically want to create the ESPN of esports, says Bobby Kotick.
Doesn't ESPN already show gaming stuff?
Yes, they do. But
Bobby Kotick's response to that would be "fuck you."
Yeah, Bobby Kotick basically just wants to own it all. He said basically their ability to create premium content, along with the broadcast platform and the live stream capabilities that it already has, because they were on consoles at one point, or I think they still are. I don't know how that's working. I've watched that channel I think twice when it was on 360.
I guess the problem with this, I would say, is Twitch has already far blown away MLG. Like, who cares about MLG at this point?
Yeah, I mean, if even then, like, Twitch blows away like what YouTube can do, and YouTube's trying. I mean, they made their
YouTube's actually not. Yeah, YouTube isn't actually that bad, honestly. Yeah. But it's like kind of fighting an uphill battle.
Right, yeah, because, they wanted Twitch. Google tried to buy Twitch. They couldn't. Amazon bought it. And then, so they decided, okay, we're going to create our own thing with YouTube, which is not bad at all. And then, but, Twitch is like, you've got Twitch, you've got YouTube in one section, YouTube like behind it with a little bit of, then you're going to have Major League Gaming that's going to be, yeah, Activision Blizzard has all this money, and maybe you can make it like the official place now where you're going to have the Call of Duty World League, whatever, and you're going to have, like, when Blizzard does their stuff at BlizzCon, it's going to be officially through that channel, and you're going to push people to that channel, but I don't, other than in those moments, I don't see people staying there. That's my only issue, is, like, you're going to have to do something that the other platforms don't, and I don't know what you're doing that's going to be so special, other than getting it on TV or something, in its own way.
Yeah, and that stuff, like, I don't know, people who would want to watch that stuff on a TV anyway.
I mean, people watch on ESPN and stuff, but it's just, I don't know. Like, it would have to be the official gaming thing. Like, no, you couldn't put it on Twitch. You couldn't put anything that had to do with Blizzard or anything that had to do with Activision on those platforms. And
that's the other thing. It's like, okay, let's say they buy MLG. Does that mean they're going to have, like, Battlefront on MLG or like a competitor's game?
Mm-hmm.
It would be foolish if they didn't. But you know how kind of territorial Activision is, so.
Right. I mean, that's a big thing. Like, if you're not, and it's only going to be your stuff, that's only going to appeal to a certain amount of people. And then, like, there's only so much Hearthstone you can watch somebody play. There's only so much Call of Duty you can watch somebody play before it gets like, okay, I'm going to move on.
Yeah, it's like, is Counter-Strike Go going to be on that thing? It's like, probably not anymore.
Yeah, and then if you and if you make everybody to where you can't, you can only play their games on MLG, then you're sectioning off your market, and you might actually have a backlash from people that don't buy some of your games now because of that too, because streaming games has become such a big deal. Like, even like the Final Fantasy 7 port, when I log in, and I mean, I don't have a zillion friends or anything, I have like maybe 100 or so.
On PS4?
Yeah, on the PS4, and like,
and I got like 13.
and it'll tell me there's like 13 people broadcasting Final Fantasy 7 on the PS4.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, damn. I didn't know there was any people watching that many people play the same game over and over, but it just, and every game you put in, there's always somebody broadcasting it. So if you take it away and put it on this service that not a lot of people even know exists, I don't know. I don't know what they can do to make it different, and then if you're wanting people to pay for it, that's another thing that I mean, Activision makes people pay for things that I can't imagine why they still pay for them to this day, but whatever, works for them, I guess.
There are people still paying for WoW, for God's sakes.
That's another thing, and it's entirely because that they keep making things for that game. So, Square-Enix had to suffer a 2 billion yen loss when they had to close their Shinra Technologies cloud gaming service, which I never remember them making anything for at all.
Avalanche didn't kill Shinra, Square did.
Yeah, Square kills Shinra.
That's because what I understand is a cloud gaming service, but nothing had come out for it because it was all like, people were making stuff for it. So now that that's gone, it's like, well, oh well.
It's like the collective thing. I think I've heard of like a couple of games that have come out of that, and that's it. Like,
yeah,
it's not. I applaud Square for wanting to, like, that same thing that they announced like last year with their, okay, now we have an RPG initiative with like all these people are making only RPGs, and that's cool and all, but I don't know how that's going to work as well as they think. So, who knows? I mean, it could be wonderful, or it could be absolutely dog crap. So we'll have to see how that if that RPG thing turns out good games or not.
Yeah.
So they did announce a few things, more Final Fantasy games. I mean, we talked about Final Fantasy 9 last time. They did officially announce a U.S. version, which seems like they're going to make it for the PC first, which is a problem that they've had with the other games, which have been all iOS ports, and some of them have been better than the other ones. This one, it doesn't even, at least for the U.S., there seems to be no indication that it's coming to the phone right now. They've only announced the PC version. It's coming with Steam trading cards, obviously, an autosave function, and achievements, all the stuff that comes with Steam. And then you also get like a way to the HD. There's gonna be HD character models and cinematics, which just in the trailer they look better. But we'll have to see if it, when the game actually comes out, if it's any different. And obviously they're going to include things that were in the 7 port, which I think was also in the 8. I'm not sure, with the letting you play it faster and the no encounter mode.
8 had some weird stuff. The only thing I remember is you could toggle a switch to give you 99 magic spells.
So basically it's kind of like the way they did it with 7, where you can heal yourself after every battle or whatever. Which, seriously, if you're playing a game like that, it's a waste of time. I don't know how you can not get bored after a while of you're never gonna die. It's just, Final Fantasy Adventure, which is not even a Final Fantasy game. It's a mana game that came out for the original Game Boy. It's coming to iOS and Android. And it's supposed to come out to the Vita in Japan. Don't know if it's coming to Vita here. But, yeah. I remember... if I've played this game, I don't remember anything about it. So... yeah, I'm super excited about Final Fantasy 9, which is now supposed to come out in early 2016. But at Final Fantasy Adventure, I can take or leave.
A friend of mine was talking about Final Fantasy 9 was going to come out this month, and I was like, yeah, keep dreaming.
Yeah, if it comes out, it'll come out in March or something, probably. I mean, they are adapting PS1 stuff, and it's not like they're redoing, it's not a remake, so they're not redoing the whole game, but, still... so the sort of big thing was that Final Fantasy 15 has story progression through the gameplay similar to Last of Us, is what Tabata is saying.
There's going to be zombies?
I wouldn't be surprised if there were zombie enemies. I mean... I think that's what it felt like to me when I played the demo. I don't know about you, but it just felt like people just being in a car doing stuff. I mean, there wasn't this necessary need to...
When I played that game, it felt like a Monster Hunter game.
Yeah.
And that feels weird. Because it's not like The Last of Us was a big open world. It was no... I mean... It had open spaces, but it was still kind of a directed path.
Right, yeah. Well, the demo, they also wanted you to complete the demo. So, I like that idea because they tried to do that with the 13 games and it failed.
That's because they didn't have an open world.
Or they didn't have an open world. Well, the second one did, sort of.
Yeah, but that was an open time scheme. It wasn't an open world.
And then the first one, they didn't have an open part until the last bit of the game. So
it's the third. It's the third disc when that game opens
yeah.
up. It's great. Thanks.
Okay. I mean, and 13, the Lightning Returns did as well, but that was you're timed, so you can't do everything. You still have to try to complete the game fast.
Yeah, it'd be fun to play that game on Steam with just infinite time.
Yeah. That would, I wouldn't be surprised if that somebody's trying to put some kind of mod in there to do that.
Well, it's just cheat engine. Just be infinite time, here we go.
Right. They did, so Capcom says that Dragon's Dogma 2 could still happen.
Yeah.
Sure. You know, the way Capcom is about how they want to pretty much only have known franchises at this point, I wouldn't be surprised. But they say that it all has to come down to if you will play the PC version of Dark Arisen.
Well, I'll probably be the one who's getting that for review in a few weeks.
Good luck with that, I guess. If that's the reason why you're waiting to see if people will want a Dragon's Dogma 2, okay. So, all right.
Well, that's what they did with like the Resident Evil 2 remake, though. It's like once the Resident Evil 1 remake came out and people were excited about it, they were like, "Hey, you can squeeze some more money out of these fools."
Yeah. And that's what they love to do. Squeeze money out of you and keep making old games, which, hey, to their credit, people keep buying them. So, you know, why stop making them? People have to stop buying them first. The GDC award came out. Some pretty much the usual suspects that you would think of, and
well, just the nominations, right?
Yeah, this is the nominations. Pretty much like the usual suspects you'd expect in most of the categories. I mean, Game of the Year, all the same ones that were in there for the Game Awards. You know, Fallout 4, Witcher 3, Metal Gear Solid 5, Bloodborne, Rocket League. You know, the innovation stuff. All the, I mean, the ones you would expect, Undertale, Her Story, Beginner's Guide, which is the only one that I have not played on this list here, Splatoon. Mario Maker. I mean,
they haven't played any of them.
Yeah. You know, it's the best handheld game has Lara Croft Go and Fallout Shelter on it, which these are all, most of them are all
DS stuff,
like mobile stuff, not even, you know, DS stuff. I mean, Ori and Vine Forest got a award for best, or they're nominated for best visual art somehow, though I think either Splatoon or Star Wars will probably win for that, because Star Wars looks ridiculous, even though, you know, the game is what it is. So, I mean, it's cool. They'll announce that, I think, like, in the middle of GDC, which starts, like, March 14th, so it's not even a thing until then. So apparently, J.J. Abrams, you know, we talked about how Star Wars Force Awakens is similar to The New Hope. He says it was because it's on purpose.
Yeah, because you need to make another trilogy.
Right. I mean, and that's, you know, we talked, like, just, it's setting the story, basically. It's giving you the important things of what made Star Wars great in the first place. I think it accomplishes that. I mean, we already talked about it. I meant to go see it again, and I just didn't have the time. But, I mean, you know, the thing that helps this movie is all the new characters are great. So, and the way this...
Like Captain Phasma.
Yeah, and I don't know about Captain so Captain Phasma was the new Boba Fett, who, you know, unfortunately
passed
away.
And does absolutely shit.
Yeah, who did nothing, but he's so popular for some reason. But yeah, I mean,
it says more that one Jedi with like the metal sword or whatever, he was more impactful than Captain Phasma.
Yes. No. Well, I mean, you never know. Captain Phasma could be something big in the second movie.
Take off her helmet and it'll be a hot chick underneath it, just like Metroid.
Yep. It'll be. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So Disney Infinity, the number one Toys to Life game because of Star Wars, basically. I'm sure your buddy John Vignacci is happy about that.
That's close enough on his name. I'll give it to you.
I'm sorry. Just
that's fine.
Sight reading of.
I like to think it's all because of him. Honestly, fuck Star Wars.
Yeah, right. It's all
because he's like in the game. You can watch like Disney Infinity like videos actually in the game. It's hilarious.
Oh really?
Yeah, like they do. He does like a weekly show with some woman named Allison. I don't know her last name, and They just talk about like levels or like new characters and stuff, and it's great.
That's awesome. And he always seems so excited about the games too. Like he makes you pumped up to go play those games. Star Wars Battlefront has now sold over 13 million copies, with 12 million of that sold in November and December alone.
People are idiots.
I told you. I mean, when GameStop was bitching and moaning, I mean, Peter Moore was right when he said, we're just waiting for that movie to get closer and closer. People are going to buy this game.
You know
it
what
has
game
Star Wars on it.
You know what game I downloaded over the break on my tablet? KOTOR. Oh, that's a Star Wars game.
There you go. Does that play well on the tablet?
Like, yeah, there's no, like, I thought it would have been slow or anything, but it runs just fine, and the tablet controls are actually pretty good.
That's good.
Like, the gameplay isn't real time, so it works actually really well. I just want to try to get XCOM on that thing, see how well that runs.
I've heard that XCOM is great on the phone.
The only problem with KOTOR really is you can tell they scaled it down heavily.
Right. Yeah.
Like I got to the main town. I'm just like, where are all the people?
Yeah, that's weird. You'd think there was people. So Marvel's Most Wanted is going to get a pilot, so that'll make the second Marvel series that I guess would not include superheroes on ABC. So, you think this has the chance to at least do what S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing, or?
I think it'll be better, honestly, because I won't be saddled with Daisy in it, so it'll just be characters that people like, isn't it Nick Blood and Mockingbird?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the two kind of breakout characters of S.H.I.E.L.D., so if they get like a spinoff where it's just those two characters, go for it.
That'd be awesome.
As long as you get Adrian Padalecki and more skin tight outfits, that'll help.
And Marvel Agent Carter's done well. That's coming back pretty soon. I'm sure you're excited. So.
Yeah, isn't that that's 2 or 3 weeks?
And that's like a week or two. The 21st.
The Legends of DC, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
Legends of Tomorrow. I'm actually more interested in the second season of that because I heard they might bring in Constantine for that.
Oh, really? It's awesome. I have to watch that.
I would be much happier if they dumped Hawkman and Hawkgirl and brought in Constantine.
Yes. Do it.
Or, maybe like Constantine and like Zatanna or something.
Right.
Because who cares about Hawkman and Hawkgirl?
So this was, I had this in 4PC. It was earlier in the week, but I just honestly can't believe they're really doing this because this is dumb. So Twitter is possibly considering upping the character limit, which, okay, I'm fine if you want to go beyond 140, which is the hashtag they're trying to get out there. I think 300 maybe is okay. 500, 10,000 is a bit nobody wants to read your freaking novel on Twitter.
10,000 is LiveJournal.
What you might as you're Facebook's little brother at that point. Why? I think the whole point. Now, obviously, you're using text speak, which sometimes can be a little annoying to have to do. But the cool thing about Twitter is it makes you have to get to the point, not like Facebook where you can ramble on and on and on. So, I don't see how this went past any kind of phase of somebody said, "Oh, this is a good idea."
Because Twitter is still losing money, so they're scrambling to come up with anything to make them not lose money.
I mean, it's old people all of a sudden going to use Twitter because they can write more? I mean, I don't see how, if you're not on Twitter now and you don't like Twitter, adding more words is not going to make you like Twitter more.
Yeah.
Whatever. So there was this big, backlash against Idris Elba possibly being named Roland Deshawn or Deshane in the Dark Tower movie, which would obviously affect the balance of. Apparently, there's like a lot of racial overtones in that series, and it would affect it because it would basically, flip flop it. And a lot of people were just going on and on about how they did not want this to happen. This is bad. They don't care about the. They don't care about the series. Like they're going against whatever. Let me explain something to people. That this is why I don't read. Like when I read a book, after I've done this a couple of times where I read the book and then I got upset about the movie, and I'm like, oh, it's just like, you know what? Just understand that they're two different concepts. Like the book is one thing, and the movie is another. The movie is that director and maybe possibly the original author like trying to get as much as they can of the book in there, but it's going to be their own version of that, their story that they want to tell. Like it's not supposed to be the movie or the book on screen. At least for some of them, it's not. And if they want to change things, as long as they get the spirit of what the book was about, like I don't really see the big deal because Idris Elba's an awesome actor. I just don't.
It's just like the Hollywood, or not Hollywood, but kind of like the latent racism in the public. Like when he was announced as Thor, people were like flipped out about that. Not Thor, but Heimdall and Thor.
Right. It's like, who cares?
Or like when he was rumored to be Bond, it's like, black guy can't be Bond. It's like, well, if the black guy's a good actor, it shouldn't really matter.
Shoot, if somebody announced that he was going to be Doctor Who tomorrow, I wouldn't care. Like, he's awesome. Like, shouldn't you want... I mean, him as Bond? Like, he would be fantastic as Bond. He already carries himself very much like... and a lot of the movies or the shows that he's in, he would be perfect for that role if they got him. I don't understand why... who cares? I mean, just... ugh. And that's why he says the racist a-holes can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
And, don't blame them, I guess, on that part. But, this is what our generation has become sometimes. You're not putting a face to all the stuff you're writing on a keyboard, so they don't care. And it's just sad sometimes. I am kind of interested in this because... I got really interested in the Hatfield and McCoy's thing that History Channel did. I've kind of fallen off on the Vikings show because it just got too little. It's already on season 4. It got to the point where it's just like, okay, this is too much. They're going to make a Knights Templar series called Knights.
Is Ezio going to be in it?
Jeremy Renner is apparently involved with guest starring and producing it. So, yeah, they're going to go back and look at the Crusades and all the other stuff. And, I mean, this is an interesting time in history, obviously. Obviously lots of stuff has been made because of that. Are you sort of interested or no?
No, not really, because that period of history has just been, like, mined to death at this point.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, I'll watch it. I'm not going to be, like, upset if it's not good or anything. Just
yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, it's, like, between this and doing the Jesus stories we're getting to the point where it's like, okay, we've seen enough. You don't have to do this again. There's only so many times you can retell the Jesus story. At some point, they all kind of blur in together.
Next one will be Idris Elba as Jesus.
Oh boy. That'll be like where people just go, okay, we're jumping the shark, I'm sure. Tales from the Crypt is coming back, which I feel like this is like the third time we've heard about Tales from the Crypt coming back. I swear we talked about this like last year or something.
I would be interested in it if it wasn't done on M. Night Shyamalan and it wasn't on TNT.
Yeah, it's supposed to come with a 2-hour block of horror stuff from TNT. Both short and long form storytelling. They're going to mix in stuff from the original movies and shows and comics and whatever, along with original stories, which I didn't mind Wayward Pines so much. I kind of like that show. So maybe M. Night Shyamalan can be okay. I don't know. Just I want to see if this takes off at all.
I mean, I like horror and science fiction anthology shows, but the public does not, and there hasn't been a successful one of those since the original Tales from the Crypt in the early 90s.
Yeah, and that was a different time, obviously, so, you know. It'll be interesting. I'm a big horror fan, too, so I would be drawn to it, but I think, you have to temper expectations a bit, This is one of those things I think could play well, like, on Netflix or something.
Yeah, or a network that can show adult situations.
Yeah, like FX or...
Like, it doesn't need to, be full of, like, boobs and swearing, but, like, disturbing imagery or something like that would be nice.
Yeah, even, I mean, like, just what FX is able to do with, like, the American Horror Story, that by itself shows you that it can be done correctly.
Yeah. Well, kind of.
Yeah, kind of, but, I think that they've done really good with that over the years. I mean, some of them can get a little bit, but I really liked. I still need to go finish watching Hotel, but I've liked it so far, and a lot of them, I've liked what they do with it. So, some of them have been great in the past, like when what was that Showtime thing that they had, or it wasn't originally on? Was it? Oh, yeah, it was on Showtime, like where they had all the different directors do
Matches of 4.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was okay. It was.
Well, some of them were bad.
Yeah, that was the problem. It was too kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, like some of them were really, really good, and some of them were terrible.
Yeah.
So.
Like, honestly, I would love it if, like, Tales from the Crypt came back, and it was done by, like, James Gunn, or, like, Michael Dougherty. That'd be great. Someone who's on, like, a total ass. Because the original Tales from the Crypt had, it was produced by, I think, Robert Zemeckis, for God's sakes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he directed an episode. And I think Spielberg directed an episode, too.
Ah.
And it's like, you think you're going to get Spielberg for this one?
Yeah, probably not. Well, speaking of James Gunn, he wanted to get the now sadly passed away David Bowie to show up for Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
Were you a David Bowie fan at all, or?
Some of the songs are okay, but I just have no connection to him. Like, my connection to him is I like Life on Mars, the British TV show, and I like that one song from Amplitude he was in, or he did.
Which is?
I think Everybody Says Hi.
Ah.
Yeah,
I mean, like, obviously just from having his music in Rock Band, which is how I got acquainted with a lot of different music.
Yeah.
And then I kind of went on and I have some of his albums or whatever, and you can trace him back to so many different genres and everything, how important he is.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's like losing one of the legends, like when, Lemmy went down too. It's sad. I mean, he would have fit. He fits right in with that whole Guardians of the Galaxy, all that stuff. So that would have been cool to see him.
You can still see him in Omicron, the Nomad Soul, on the Dreamcast and PC.
Yeah, jeez, going way back to that Dreamcast. But all right, I think we kind of hit everything. Thank you for everybody that listened today. We will be if there's a lot if some reason stuff breaks between Tuesday and Thursday, something ridiculous, maybe we'll be back later this week or something.
It's all on your schedule, not mine.
Yeah, I know. It's all. Hopefully, my schedule slows down a little bit here, but
once all that football crap goes away.
Once all the football stuff goes away, I won't have that much to do. But yeah, until next week. Everybody enjoy your. There is, like we mentioned, the Assassin's Creed India games coming out. Banner Saga for PS4 and Xbox One. Gone Home Xbox One and PS4 both coming. I'd be interested in either one of those. Never got to play Banner Saga.
I mean, Banner Saga's cool. Gone Home is pretty short. Like, if you just want to play it, you can play on my account, really.
Yeah, and there's the Heroes Reborn game is coming out. The Heroes Reborn Gemini.
I'm sure that'll be a winner.
If if you're all about that Heroes Reborn.
Oh, that Tharsis game is coming out too, huh?
Yeah, that Tharsis game, and then the Ark the Lad Twilight of Spirits PS2 game is coming as well.
Adam offered me Tharsis, and I'll see what the other reviews say about that one first before I dive into it.
What is it anyway?
It looks like almost like a strategy FTL.
Ah, okay.
Which might be cool, but you never know with those things.
Yes, they either like really good like FTL or they're not. So, but yeah, all right. You can go subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher and all the other places. Rate and review if you enjoy what you hear here. You can go subscribe to the rest of the WTM network that now includes Randy's backlog busting project, which is them basically reviewing old games. You can also find that on 411 as well. We'll have the 411 Game Awards, the top 10 out. I'm trying to aim it for Wednesday. The top 5 should be out on Tuesday morning now because they apparently had a ton of stuff for Monday. So he was like, all right, we don't need this right now. And Mark gave a list along with John with the top 5, basically the top 5 games of the year that weren't on our final top 10 list. And yeah, then Mark had. Did you get that 8-ball in there? Or?
Yeah, I submitted that last night. Actually, it's top 8 emulators, so that should be fun.
Yeah, that should be interesting. Have you gotten to read you had comments on there or not?
No, I submitted it last night.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it should be interesting to see what the response is to that. I'm sure there will be a lot of people just complaining about the whole, why are we talking about this thing? Hey, it is legal. It is relevant to games, so. And then, yeah, they are illegal. The emulators are not illegal. It's the whole, what you do with the ROMs, that's the legal part. But, yeah, so go check all that stuff out on 411. Yeah, go check out. I mean, there's been other podcasts that I joined the network to, another wrestling podcast, and another one that I do the producing for, which is like a retro review wrestling podcast. So, yeah, and we'll be doing our football one later today. If you're listening, within Monday, if not on Tuesday or Wednesday, doing the national championship post game for that and all the wild card games and whatever. So, and talking more about the coaching changes. So, all right, everybody. See you later.
Later.